kind of go through, I'm going to ask each of you kind of what's something that you learned today in the lesson? What's something that you can take away, and what's something that will help you shoot better scores, especially in putting, because that was our main focus for today. So, Laura, go ahead.
TikTok.
The TikTok,
Yeah.
the grandfather clock.
Yep.
And what's that going to do for you?
It's timing and wrists.
Perfect. Sydney?
Probably like just keeping my head down more, not like looking at the hole, just like focus on the ball.
Exactly.
Easy, get it to the hole.
Yeah, we're not going to look up to see where the putt is before we get to the hole, right? We're going to hit the putt, and then we're going to listen to it drop in the bottom of the hole before we move our head.
Yep.
Perfect. Ken?
I think in long putts, just to see the hole as a bucket instead, so you don't
Yeah.
exactly have to aim towards the hole.
Exactly. We're trying to get it in a 3-foot bucket, and that's a lot easier than that 4-inch hole, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to take that stuff. I want you guys to work on some of the stuff that we did in this lesson and take it into the next lesson, because this is just the beginning. We have 3 more lessons that we're going to go through, and we're going to work on improving each week in our different areas of the game. But first and foremost, the most important part of the game is putting. So I'm glad we started with this today, and then I'll see you guys all next week.
Sounds good.
All right. So today, end of the second lesson, we worked on chipping. So help me out, definition of a chip, because we discussed it at the beginning of the lesson. And
It rolls more than it flies.
exactly. So if we're going to the back hole over there, I want to land this one before the first hole, and then it should release to the back, correct? All right, Eric, help me out now. How
your wrist forward.
Okay, so I want to move my wrist forward. Now I'm in a good position to hit down on the chip and not hit behind
backspin.
and create a little bit of backspin. All right, now what, Sydney? Am I bringing it back a long way and hitting down like that, or what do I do from here?
Don't go back as far.
Okay. So
and
here.
just and make sure you like connect with the ball. Don't hit behind it.
So hit right at the ball, and then about the same length through?
Yeah.
Okay, so using all that, I'm going to get set up. Like Eric said, I'm going to forward press. I'm going to get my hands forward. And then Sydney wants me to only take it back to here, and then come down and connect with the ball and take about the same length through. And then you want it to roll more than it flies.
Yep.
So let's see if, putting all the information you guys just gave me, see if I can put that together. And to do exactly what we've been working on today, is to chip, have it roll, have it spin a little bit, and then not to hit way behind the ball. All right? Think we can remember that for next time?
Yeah.
Perfect. Now we're going to move on. Next week we're going to move on to more of a full swing. Okay, so this is the end of the third lesson. I kind of want to go through what we learned. So I kind of like to ask you guys what you learned, and then I can help explain on it if you need. So go ahead, Eric.
I learned that I have to keep my hips square, because if I open them too soon, I'm going to slice the ball.
Exactly. So we're going to try to keep your hips square, and then we also talked about hitting the inside of the golf ball
Yep.
as opposed to the outside. So just imagine there's a line going right to the middle of it, and we're trying to hit the inside of the golf ball to get that ball to turn to the left
Yep.
instead of the outside of the golf ball, which tells it to turn to the right. Okay? Cammie.
I need to keep my head down, and
Keep your head
just how I shift my weight needs to be with the club.
Okay, yeah, so we're not going this way and this way, because that looks pretty awkward, doesn't it?
Yeah.
We want to turn back and get 90% of our weight on the right leg, then all the way through, we're going to start transferring that weight, and at impact, it should be about 90-10 the other way. Then we're going to hit it, and we're going to get up to the top, and it's going to be about 95-5. Try to get all of our weight shifted from our right side to our left side in sync, because if we're doing this opposite of the club, it's going to hurt us. All right, Sydney, what did you learn?
Like to keep it in like half swing range, and like flipping the club like when I'm going through.
Okay, perfect. All right, guys, we'll see you next week, and we'll talk about some drivers.
Yeah.
This is the last and final lesson. One thing I just want to kind of go over everything that we've talked about in the last 4, and then we'll kind of focus on driving at the end. That way we have a breakdown of everything that we learned. You know what you're taking away from these 4 lessons. So first we did putting. It's 4 weeks ago, but go ahead and remember what are 4 things that we talked about for putting?
Tick-tock.
The tick-tock, alright.
Long putts to get it in a few feet.
Yep, on lag putts, we're trying to make it in the bucket. Sydney? How about that drill that I gave you? Have you been practicing up with that drill?
Yeah, with like
The 4 corners? Yeah, that's perfect. Alright, so now next we did chipping. Help me out, what are some things that we learned when we chipped?
You wanna like have more of a roll,
Yeah.
and, like
Yeah, that's exactly right. A chip is gonna roll more than it flies. So it's gonna fly like that, then it's gonna roll more. Perfect. One more thing about chipping.
Use the same stroke that you use at a putt.
Yeah, exactly. Except we're just gonna forward press, and it's just like a putting stroke. Nothing to it. All right. Now we hit some irons last week, and what did we do for those? What was the main focus? We were trying to really hit down on the ball,
And
right?
keep the club face.
Exactly. We're trying to hit down on it, and then to eliminate the slice, we're trying to toe the club over on the follow through. That way we can start the ball right and hit some draws. Perfect. Now for drivers, Laura, what's one thing that we talked about with the driver?
In your setup, you should have the ball kind of where the logo of your shirt is.
Exactly. So when we set up, we're going to keep the ball right in the logo. All right. What else?
Wider stance than you would
So
have
you're-
for an iron.
Yeah. So here's my normal stance. I'm just going to kick my right foot out a little bit to add a little more stability. All right. Now
Take the club back
Take it out.
outside.
take it outside. Perfect. Now we're here. And now on the way down, we're not hitting down like an iron shot like we would for that.
Pop it
We're
out.
instead
gonna-
of hit up.
Yeah, exactly. So we're just gonna turn, we're gonna hit the club on the upward motion, which is gonna get the ball in the air and have it spin less. Because the less it spins, the less it's gonna go like that. And we're gonna hit straight shots, alright?
All right.
So if we remember everything we talked about, we're gonna shoot lower scores and we're gonna have more fun on the golf course.
Awesome.
Alright, thank you for
Thank
doing my
you.
lessons.
Yep, thanks.
Thank you.